What is up, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back. We got top 5 scary things found on the dark web. Brought to you by the top 5 scary videos. Let's subscribe to them like I just did. Let's help them out. So, we all know how you go off on the dark web. If you're stupid, I will go off on you for going on. But you know what? If you go on there, you're stupid. Don't do it. It just ain't worth it. But the top 5 scary things found. What can be found on the dark web? Well, a bunch of shit. Let's see. There's numerous of things. There's more than. This top 5 better be good. He better deliver with this top 5. So, let's jump right on into it.
Will realize the sites we browse daily on our PCs and phones are largely surface level, free to access through standard web browsers. No shady business here on the clear web, I mean, mostly anyways. Below the surface though is a wealth of data. Stuff that can't be accessed freely, much of which is hidden behind paywalls and passwords and memberships. The back end of the internet, the deep web. This has been estimated to take up over 90% of the internet. All sorts of information is stored here, but isn't accessible to the public. If you dig a little deeper though, and use an anonymous web browser called Tor, you will find yourself in the dark web.
Okay, why would you tell people what web browser to use? Don't do it. We don't want them to go there. Don't do it. Don't listen to what he said.
Intentionally hidden, this part of the internet is a wild west of sorts. These sites are unindexed, meaning that they can't be found through standard search engines. Thanks to the encryption Tor provides as well, most folks are able to scoot around without being identified. This anonymity is the driving force behind a lot of illicit activity in this unmoderated online space. A study done by researchers at King's College in 2015 found that over half of the sites on the dark web host illicit material. Drugs, scams, weapons, you name it. And of course, there are some terrifying things to discover. One wrong click and you could stumble upon some raunchy stuff. Hello horror heads and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host Keegan Hughes and today we're counting down the top 5 scary things found on the dark web. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more illicit soliciting. Outrageous, let's begin. Coming in at number 5, we've got the Human Experiment. This is a particularly well-known site on the dark web that was active for quite a while before going quiet around 2011. As you may have guessed from the name, this site documents all sorts of human experimentation. Not lab trials or allergy tests though, this is some real Unit 731 stuff. The pages detail experiments done by anonymous doctors and med students, all unethical, despicable, and super unhippocratic. The goal is to prove that some humans are verifiably superior to others.
We actually went over this, I think, twice. Remember about, yeah, we went over this twice. Impregnating, yeah.
It's a eugenics thing or a super soldier program gone sour, I can't say for sure. These dastardly doctors pick up homeless and unregistered people and subject them to all sorts of horrid conditions, all in the name of science. Some of the tests include starvation, extreme dehydration, testing the limits of pain tolerance, introducing infectious diseases, causing organ damage, transfusing unsafe substances, administering experimental drug trials, sterilization, and subjecting infants to x-rays, heat, and pressure. Apparently a lot of these
Okay, I didn't know that part. Why the fuck would you use an infant as a test dummy? You're just a bunch of fucking jackasses. Leave that poor little baby alone. What did that baby do? Yeah, the baby is innocent. No.
Experiments are covertly conducted in hospitals and the results are shared under the names of other real patients. After the experiment is complete, usually thanks to the death of their subject, the bodies are dissected and disposed of discreetly. At one point, dumpsters behind meat shops were mentioned. Yikes. Like most information available on the dark web, the human experiment has been subject to plenty of scrutiny and...
Alright people, I know there's a lot of you dumpster divers out there. I know there is. So, if you... why would you want to? Well, would be spoiled time you got there. Ever go dumpster dive behind a meat plant, you might find a dead body. That was a test dummy.
Skepticism. However, according to some intrepid researchers, some of the data they posted related to their experiments with hypothermia and bleach injections is reasonably realistic. It could very well be an elaborate fantasy, but numbers don't often lie. Like I mentioned earlier, these folks have been radio silent since 2011, but that doesn't mean they've stopped with their experimentation. Maybe they've just stopped posting about it. Coming in at number 4, hitmen. Thanks to the relative anonymity of the dark web, hits seem to be a relatively common commodity. Who hasn't at some point wanted someone dead? Not having to kill them yourself is a huge bonus too, although that's definitely not something I've ever considered. No way. There are 3 major sites that a lot of folks seem to be familiar with: Assassination Market, Unfriendly Solution, and Cthulhu Resume. They all function a little bit differently, but are definitely all for the same purpose. Unfriendly Solution is apparently just one hitman. He claims to have years of experience and no remaining human empathy, which means he'll do just about anything to anyone for the right price. Cthulhu Resume is an organized criminal group full of former soldiers and mercenaries. Apparently they're a well-oiled killing machine. And then there's the Assassination Market.
Well, see, that would make sense. If all you knew how to do was kill and be ruthless and have no remorse, you'd be the perfect fucking hitman. I'm not saying go do it. No, I ain't saying go do that. I ain't condemning murder. But think about it. That would make perfect sense. You know, they were trained to be ruthless, how to kill. Hell, they could go through hell and back and be just fine with it. I'm sure this is, and yeah.
Which is a little odd.
And I like how he's going more into detail than the last video about this hitman. Because the last one didn't cover all this. But I'm not saying go there and look it up. No. Don't go there.
It works kind of like a crowdfunding operation with an element of gambling. A target is added to a list and users can add cryptocurrency to a pool of money associated with that person. Folks can also predict when and how a person will die, and whoever gets it right will take the money home. The person behind this site appears to be more fundamentally driven than others, with plenty of long manifesto-style points about their assassination style. Although, with most folks on the list being celebrities, it seems like the site's more of a novelty than anything. Many folks theorize that the more accessible operations are probably sting operations for the FBI or similar organizations, which makes sense to be honest. Capture killers before they can find a real hitman. However, I don't doubt that there are real assassins skulking around on the dark web. They'd be much more furtive though, allowing only certain folks to find them. You would need connections and access to the always changing gibberish-based onion links to contact these killers. After all, who would openly advertise their services on a surface-level site? Chewing their way in at number 3, we've got cannibals. In amongst the many CD on.
My God, for the third, me? Oh, no. How many times do we gotta go through this? God.
Online markets is one that might make your stomach churn. With every possible vice being catered to, why wouldn't people with a penchant for human flesh make an appearance? There are plenty of folks looking to buy and sell human meat online. In fact,
that's not human meat. That better. Ooh. That's just steak.
there are some folks who are really into the idea of being eaten by someone else. They say stuff like, I'm fresh, I'm juicy, come on and eat me. Seems like a sort of sexual compulsive thing. Very odd. In addition to the buying and selling of meat for the purpose of consumption, there are markets for products made from humans. There are customers and shopkeepers looking to exchange wallets and belts made from skin. Maybe even a full skin suit, kind of like Buffalo Bill. Or maybe a wallet made of something taken from a poor pill-popping woman, a la the house that Jack built. Who would want to own, let alone wear, some of this stuff? I'd really rather not know. Relatively recently, a man was caught using the dark web to plan the murder and consumption of a 13-year-old girl. He had been searching for a parent willing to let him kill and eat their daughter, and ended up communicating with an undercover agent posing as a father. They agreed on a meeting place, but when he showed up, he was not met by a young girl, but by the police. After being encouraged on the dark web, he was ready to go all the way through with it. Coming in at number 2, we've got Red Rooms. Think Videodrome. Red Rooms are basically live feeds of people being tortured in methodical and perverse ways. Some say you can pay to tell the operator what to do to the victim. It's hard to find verifiable sources of Red Rooms, but their existence isn't totally implausible. Reddit user Drowdan swears that one day he came across one by accident and hasn't been the same since. When he was in high school, he spent a lot of time using Tor on recommendation from his tech-savvy friend, exploring, clicking links, just seeing how far he could get. Eventually, he came across a forum called something along the lines of Think Evil, populated almost exclusively by people discussing very dark topics: sexual assault, torture, long-term abuse tactics, cannibalism, you name it. Most of the posts were pretty old though. However, he noticed that someone had posted a link within the hour on the forum's main page. Red Room, going live soon. Morbid teenage curiosity made him click. He was directed to a live webcam chat room, broadcasting what appeared to be the inside of an abandoned house. Front and center was a woman tied to a chair with a pillowcase over her body. A man with his face covered entered the frame and asked the audience what they wanted to see and how much they would pay. Someone ended up putting $500 on the line to see her beaten with a bat. Soon after, this bidder requested that the poor woman be killed. Another chat member asked Drowdan why he wasn't talking, which caused him to freak out and
Welcome to DraftKings Sportsbook, the land of can't-miss offers. We're celebrating the 101st football season.
pull the plug on his computer. Needless to say, he wasn't going to head back there anytime soon. And finally at number 1, Peter Scully. I really don't want to discuss the grisly details of this, so I'll make it short. Peter Scully is an Australian serial killer made famous for running a pay-per-view site on the dark web. He and his partner Carmen Ann Alvarez would torture and assault young girls on camera for paying viewers. He was eventually brought to justice when 2 potential victims escaped and identified Alvarez, who then confessed and revealed all. Scully is currently serving a life sentence in the Philippines for his crimes, thank goodness. Even a stay in one of the world's most overstuffed prisons is too good for him. When asked why he did it, Scully said, "I don't know why I did it. I wasn't like that in Australia. I'm not sure if that makes it better or worse." Even if he's behind bars, the anonymous viewers on the dark web may very well still be at large. And there you have it, 5 terrifying tidbits found
You did a well job.
on the dark web. People can do some really messed up stuff if they think they'll never get caught. What do you think? What's the scariest dark web story you've ever heard? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more clandestine ones from the...
We're good. That was some sick fucking crap, but we pretty much went all, except for number 1. We never covered him. And just don't listen to his what he said go to. Don't do it. God. Until next time, like, share, subscribe, comment. We out of here.